Confessions number 22. Welcome to the Bastards Council. This is Jay to the Oh No, Zinfandel, Primate, and Ivy.
Why didn't he get a name?
Who?
Ivy.
Who? That is his name.
That's his name.
Yeah. No. We gotta give him a new name.
No, that's his name.
Vin is my name, and you called me Zinfandel.
Yeah, Vin is short for Zinfandel.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, no one.
That's why we call you Vin. But
That's why we call you.
I mean, your name is Zinfandel.
No, it's like the way they call me Johnny the Schnoz.
Nobody calls you that.
Spell it for the
Did you see this schnoz? Did you see it? It causes eclipses.
Johnno the Schnoz, man.
I'm just picturing like Lion King, like and your nose just blocks the fucking sun and it kills everything.
You know when you did that? It reminded me of
The Lion King.
Feel the love.
The Lion King. That's the Lion King.
Yeah, that's the movie The Lion King, right?
Yeah. Enough to the
I was thinking, you know, Le Roi Lion?
Yeah, Le Roi Lion.
No, you know the band Kings of Leon?
Yeah.
Say it in French.
Le Roi Lion.
Is that really where they got it?
No, but I always make that joke.
Because that would have been funny.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what is it?
Let's see.
Where are we?
What is it? What do you mean,
It's Confessions 22.
Yeah, 22.
he established
Oh, he
that.
did? No, I forgot already.
All right. So yeah, this is the podcast. Blah blah blah. It's we're celebrating my birthday tonight.
It's Johnno's birthday.
Well, what's
Woo! Why are you gotta
birthday, John.
just say it's your fucking birthday?
It's my fucking birthday.
It's his fucking birthday.
My fucking birthday.
He's 40.
It's the second birthday on the podcast.
Stop starting rumors.
Second birthday on the what?
On the podcast, yeah, we had
See, one
mine.
right over there. And
Oh, okay, I thought his second birthday. I was like, what?
What were you saying?
I said, one over their heads, they believe.
They believed it.
I didn't even hear you. You're not very loud.
So also
40.
On my birthday. Well, actually, it wasn't on my birthday, but that was Soundgarden's last show, I guess.
Yeah.
And that night,
shit.
he died of a suicide, committed suicide. And today they were his wife released a statement about what happened, and it's interesting. It could have been an accidental suicide. Now you might say like, well, how the fuck you accidentally?
No, I'm more on that. I understand. It was an accidental suicide. I think it was.
But what happened exactly? Like, he was on something, right? I mean,
His wife claims it was on Ativan, and he took one pill too many.
And she noticed that he was off when she was talking to him on the phone that night. And so she sent security to go to the room or something like that. She called security or some shit to go to the room. And I guess that's how they found him after they found him.
but
dead.
I mean, if he was on that thing, that's legal through your doctor, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's prescription.
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, it's prescription.
But I mean, so that night you took one too many, right? So
That's what it's speculated.
Yeah, it's kind of assuming it was never on one too many, right?
There's not very much info.
It's a couple of days. Sometimes like
it's a couple of days.
Is it more?
There wasn't a full.
Is it more of a cover story, like just to make it sound like he was not all there and he did it because he took one too many?
I doubt he was all there. He doesn't.
I wasn't all there for sure.
Yeah, there must have been something, and it makes a little more sense to me now when they say that he's on 1 or 2 extra Ativan is what he told his wife. So
yeah,
some pretty powerful shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because you were saying how that shit is,
like that's serious.
Yeah, because I think you give one to calm patients down.
Yeah,
I remember you said something like that.
So, but how much, like, if I don't know what's one too many, is 3 the norm? I have no idea.
I think it goes according to the prescription what the doctor feels he should take.
But for someone to go to that limit, I mean, he committed suicide, so it has to be in his head before that moment.
Well, he's depressed. There's no question about it.
Yeah, especially now when you look at all the songs.
So many things make a lot more sense now when you know that he did that. But you read old lyrics and it's like, shit, it was right there.
I don't know. Like, when it comes to lyrics, don't you guys think it's how you interpret it?
Yeah.
If you're happy, you think he's happy, you're going to read lyrics, he was happy. And now he did that. You look at shit again and you kind of make different stuff.
I think
he was pretty straightforward about something.
Yeah, and you got to think also during 94, he even said it they were heavily on drugs in that time, that era, whatever.
Yeah.
And mix that with depression. I think You know, like you're gonna write stuff like that now.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think, you know, just sidetracked, but like Nine Inch Nails, the Downward Spiral, like this was Trent's demons, you might say. And he even said also the guy that got on that tour, or the Trent Reznor that got on the tour in '94 is not the same Trent Reznor that got off the tour in '96. And
I believe that.
yeah. And he said, he's like, that tour also like kind of fucked his head up, but it also was like cathartic in the sense that it released a lot of whatever he had and anger and whatever. And, you know, you can tell like from albums after that, there is a bit of that, you know, Trent Reznor depression thing, but it's way less. And I think so I think, you know, me also who would write lyrics, I would write things of whatever I felt at that moment or at that time. And I think, so maybe Chris Cornell was always battling this shit, depression. Maybe he wasn't suicidal at the time, but you know, when you're in a depressed state and whatever, and you're writing music, you'll exaggerate a little bit what you're thinking. At least that's what I think. And again, that's coming from a metal background where things are...
But I mean, like,
emphasized
like the
more.
guy, like Armen said, like he hung himself. I mean, it's not like there's... I don't
it's
think
not an
there's-
overdose. It's not an
exactly,
accident.
you know,
the final
there's-
choice was a choice he made. You
I
know,
mean,
under the influence, yes.
I don't believe it's an accident like some people are trying to make it sound like, you know what I mean?
What if, let's look at it this way, okay? Like,
No, it's an act. I'll tell you how it could be an accident. Maybe he wouldn't have done it if he wasn't on the
that's
drugs.
why
Yeah, but
That's
it was
what
on his
they-
mind already, man.
Oh, there's
It
no
has to have been on
doubt.
his
There's no
mind.
doubt he wasn't right upstairs. man.
or it
he
could
was
also,
sad or something, depressed. Depression is evil.
Yeah,
You don't.
If you're hallucinating, man, and you don't think you're gonna get out, like you're just picturing everything coming at you, you might be like, "Fuck this." I don't think it would have been like.
you know what? I'll give it something, okay?
So hard to judge.
because it's hard to judge someone on this, especially when we have never been through this kind of
and
state.
we don't really know him.
But
so-
you can't really.
No, you can't. And you know, it's I think it's very easy to say, oh, you know, like he's a coward for doing this. But let's look at it in a different light, okay? I'll use a funny story. It's funny now. It was a story that you said. It was related to, I don't know if you had gotten into an argument with Annie or if it was an argument or you I know you were pissed off that day. And it's the day that you got out of your driveway, you saw the fucking for sale sign or something in your thing. You were mad at it. You figured this is a great fucking idea or whatever you thought. I don't know what the fuck you thought. You went in, you pissed off, you took that sign, ripped it off of your front lawn, and you threw it over the fence into the back lawn, right?
I took it all out on the side.
And you got in your car, you drove away, whatever. Didn't think about it until later on that day. I don't know. I think you said you were talking to Annie.
I called home because was.
And
I left angry in the morning because the morning I'm not such a good morning person.
Right.
You know, I kind of know. So could take a few things. So I was pissed off. I left and I saw the for sale sign and I was like, oh, fuck yourself, man. I took this down, kind of like wall throwing the pizza on the roof and Breaking Bad kind of thing. So, and then I got back in my car pissed off and I drove to work. Then I forget about it. As you said, it all goes by. I call Annie I don't talk about whatever it was. Or no, she called me. And she said, she goes, where's the for sale sign? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that. She goes, wait, don't answer. She goes, this is what happened, right? You got out of the house, pissed off. On your way out, you saw the sign and you said, fuck this. You ripped it out of the ground and you threw it in the backyard, right? And I was like, well, yeah, that's exactly what happened. And she bursted into heavy laughter and said, you know, like, that's the funniest thing I've ever. She goes, can you think what the neighbors thought? She says, if the neighbors saw you get out of the house pissed off, you're like,
So what was the point you're trying to make?
Well, the point I'm trying to
what's
make.
the point? How does this?
Okay, how it correlates.
Wait a second.
Okay, so emotions trigger different thought processes, right?
Yeah.
Right now, in our normal state, this is fucking hilarious. In his angry state, there was no way he would have found that hilarious. No fucking way. And he just like he can't explain it himself why he fucking took it through and thought that was a great idea.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if we were with Armen and we were pissed off too, we would have been right behind them. Get the fucking pace out also.
Fucking smash that thing.
What I'm trying to make is the correlation of maybe he was in such a fucked up state that at that moment, maybe not an hour before,
Made a fucking fucked up decision.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, he might have had these thoughts before, but I don't think he even knew that day. This is the day that I'm going to do this. Yeah. At least from what we're hearing,
fair enough. I agree. I see it like that. Everybody. I see it was an accident at that point. If he wasn't doing anything
for this, I totally agree.
Yeah, I think it was exactly that. I think it might have been an accidental overdose. But you posted some crazy shit. Yeah, I got some awesome comments.
Yeah, it caused a shitstorm. It was kind of cool in that way. People getting into a debate or whatever, but it was taken in the exact context and also a little bit out of context, because what I wrote, my day started with getting up in the morning and getting the message that, dude, Chris Cornell died yesterday. I was like, oh, fuck off, man. You know, like, that's shit news. I don't really, like, anybody who gives a shit about that guy and his music, you know, and I did a lot. And I was like, that's lousy. Then I checked right away, what do you do, blabbermouth, wherever you're going to go. And it's like, yeah, dead. You know, then it was confirmed it was suicide. By that point, I had read enough articles, and I was a bit like, when I see somebody's got kids for whatever reason or not, I'm always like, fuck, that sucks for the kids, man. Yeah. They just lost their dad, you know what I mean? And Chris Cornell too, you know what I mean? Must have been some kind of a cool dad, or he wouldn't be in their kid's life anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought of that, but then they said it's a suicide. When I heard it's suicide, I'm like, you fucking prick. That's like the first thing that went in my head. I'm like, you went and killed yourself, and you left behind your kids. Now we're going to have to live in that aftermath of that. So one of my post was, you have 3 children, comma, and you hung yourself. 3 dots. It's hard for me to sympathize for you. Exact words. I didn't say I don't sympathize for the guy. I just said it's a little difficult knowing that. Now that opened up a fucking shitstorm of people saying that, you know, oh, you don't know. You've never been there. I've been there, or I know somebody who's been there. I think we all at least know somebody or have something close to us, close to them, something has happened. We're all very familiar with the evil strides of depression or any kind of mental illness that plays with any emotion. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's even one where you uncontrollably laugh, and that's a horrific one also, I hear. You know? So, and people are like, oh, you're being insensitive. I'm like, no, like, you know what? If it came, like, to me, it's the act. There's a selfish part of suicide, and it's kind of mean to call somebody who's suicidal selfish, because in reality, it fucks up the people around you a lot. Whole lot. No,
wait. I'm agreeing with you that it's selfish.
So like in that way, sometimes when somebody I care about, if it's connected to suicide, I can't help but have a little bit of anger in that department. I'm like, you know what that did? Let's say if I was Chris Cornell's friend, at the end of the day, you know what I would say to myself? I say, fuck, man, how did I not see it coming, and how did I not help him?
Yeah.
How was I not there for my friend? He's fucking dead. He's not coming back. That's permanent on the people. I don't think you ever get over that. You know, like that, like I wish I could have, you know what I mean? And it's selfish on my side to say that, you know, like, I think you're being selfish. That's me being like, well, how the fuck do I matter in your struggles right now, where it's leading to suicide, where it's like, you're actually taking that step. And I think everybody knows that it's final. I don't think you're like, maybe I'll come back, I'm going to try this, you know? So anyway, people, I guess it sucks because it's easy to say. I always want to say, just reach out, right? Just talk to somebody, man. So I've been sad. Sometimes you don't want to fucking talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Depressed. We've all had some sort of depression in your life. You may have lost someone. Somebody may have really broken your heart, and that can trigger some really fucked up thoughts on its own. You'd be the happiest person in the world, but something goes wrong, you're all fucked up, you know? And is it easy to talk to somebody about that? Already, that's not easy to talk about, right?
Like last year, when with my divorce thing, like I didn't want it at first, you know, and you know, I mean, I wanted it, but I didn't want it. It was like, and I still remember, like when she had moved out, like that's when I started to that's when it, you know, really sank in, and I did not show, like when I would be alone, I was like, fuck, this is retarded. Like, you know, you start thinking of all kinds of shit. And then as soon as I would see people, whether it was like going to work or going out with people after work or seeing you guys or whatever, I was fine, totally fine with all of this. But I still remember like that day that like Boris came, and I'm just sitting in my place alone, and I didn't want to see anyone. I didn't want to see anything that day. And the only reason I got out was because I knew Boris was there, and I had told him hey dude, I'm gonna come see you when you show up. But like, and then after everything was cool, everything was fine. But like, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
Just like if we go back to your Facebook post, like when we talk about this subject, man, like you created a lot of reaction because you say a lot of people refer to themselves, oh, you don't know what you're talking about because it never happened to you. Like when suicide happened, for some reason, a lot of people are focusing on themselves because when someone are not totally agreeing with this, or you say something like you did, I can't fully sympathize or something like that, they're going to think that you're the bad guy here. But at the end of the day, like, I didn't know, like, Chris Cornell personally, right? I mean, yes, I feel sorry for their family, their friend, and all that, but I don't really feel hurt personally. But it will affect people, because that feeling of people that were or believed that were suicidal at one point in their life, for them, it's a moment of their life that was very in deep fucking, like, it was dark, and I say for people that were and people that believe that were, because I think some people think they're suicidal but they're not. I mean, that's
if you're thinking you're suicidal, then you're suicidal.
I don't agree with this, man. Like I heard many times people saying that they're gonna kill themselves.
Then all of a sudden they go and they fucking
there's a difference between thinking you're suicidal and then claiming you're going to be just to get attention.
Exactly.
But that doesn't happen very
what I'm
often.
saying.
Okay, because if you think you're suicidal, then you're suicidal.
But I mean, for Armen post, I don't think that's what happened. But I mean, the reaction that was created, because it's true, man. Because the guy had kids, had family, so yeah, he's kind of it can be perceived that he was a prick for that. But then the other side of the argument for that, and I don't remember who, but someone did say that to Armen post. It's, well, what's better, like for him to be around and being sad and depressed and maybe not be a father figure, father figure, or just not be there anymore? And maybe he believed that by not being there, it would be better for his surrounding.
Well, from my take, and I don't know about you guys, but I've dealt with suicide, specifically from depression, very closely. He knows the story. I'm sure you guys. I don't know if this has ever been the case for you, but I know for me.
You or your friend?
Well, obviously, if it was suicide by depression, it wasn't me.
Okay, yeah, I know, because you could have attempted suicide. Some people have that.
Not me. I mean, obviously, I think everyone in at some point in their lives
exactly
has.
What you're talking about. I met the person.
So I think everyone at some point in their lives has like bouts of extreme sadness or anxiety and stuff like that, but there's a whole lot more that goes into depression than just being sad. And I think that's where some of the issue comes from. It's become bastardized a little bit into I'm just sad. It's totally not that. So I had my best friend, her name was Jessie. She had extreme deep depression, and I'm not talking and it was a type of depression that doesn't last just a couple of weeks. So most depression, it'll hit you, it'll last for a short amount of time, a couple of weeks, 3, 4, maybe a month. Hers was years on end, and it had to do with her life situation, and nothing was getting better. And I knew that, and she was very suicidal for a long time, but I always told her, you call me when you're thinking that. When you can't deal, I will, whatever I'm doing, I'll put down and go. And 3 times I went. 3 times I dropped everything, and I went, and I raced there, and I got there, and I stopped her from trying to commit suicide. And she had pills ready. There was a noose ready on a balcony. She had this dual level place. She had a noose ready on a rail. And then the other time was with a knife to cut her wrist. So I've dealt very closely with this. And it was 2 years over the course of 2 years that she was like that. And I knew she was feeling like that. And the best thing that was available was that she had someone, she knew that I was going to always be there regardless.
Yeah.
What happened was when she actually did commit suicide, but it wasn't that she didn't call me. She didn't call me, but there was other stuff. She started dating this guy who was a very good guy, and he went about it as, you should cut some fat from your life that makes you feel like that. And now with that occurred, I only knew her. I only became friends with her because of. She used to date. She had a kid with my ex best friend, who I grew up with in high school, and that's how we became friends. They broke up. He treated her like complete shit, but she became my best friend. Like totally, she'd tell me. She was the only person who would tell me the truth about something, like music wise. Right. And she would listen, and she I don't really like that. But then she would go and listen to other stuff. It's like, that's really cool and very honest and just like straight up, that type of friendship. And so. Going back to what I was saying, her new boyfriend said, listen, you got to cut some of this shit out of your life. Because I was associated with him and grew up with him, she cut me out. Like completely. One day I just couldn't get a hold of her and nobody would tell me anything. And I didn't push the subject because I was hoping it was that because he was a very good guy, great job, at the time willing to put up with some stuff. And he put up with a lot. I don't blame this at all, but I don't think she was ready for that type of relationship because she always thought I was going to fall apart and she kept hurting him. So I understand that. And he just kept cheating on him. So I eventually, being human, you're not going to take that anymore. And that's what was the catalyst for her committing suicide. She never thought she was going to be changed. And if I had just been called, I would have, if I had been around, I would have been there. I don't blame him for like...
Yeah, you understand.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. And he explained to me at her funeral that like, he didn't mean for me to get cut out, but like it was like you cut some fat, you end up cutting up some meat. And
bottom line, she's gone, man.
And and that was my best friend. I feel and she used to date Dano for a little bit. That's how I met Dano, was through her. And even Dano will say at the funeral, he says, I dated her, but I didn't know her like you did. He was pointing at me. I didn't know her like you did. Because he knew we were very, very close. To the point I never even met her parents. When I showed up, they asked who I was. I said my first name. They welcomed me with open arms. I was the first person there. I was there the entire time. Or mostly you go to a funeral, you'll stay maybe a half hour. I stayed, I went the entire time, both days. She was my best friend. I hadn't seen her in a year. And he explained to me, he's like, I'm sorry, like it had to happen. Like and he was very apologetic and he was hurt. He didn't mean for that to happen. So what I'm getting at with that is I've dealt very closely with that. And I agree with what he said. I'm fucking angry. I'm upset. And someone will say, well, I don't understand. When you have to walk in and see someone about to kill themselves, then we can discuss. Yeah, you might have gone through it, but it wasn't like that. I guarantee you, she was hallucinating. And that's something that I've never heard any other depressed person talk about is, have you ever had hallucinations? Because if you look up depression, and I'm not talking by one person, clinical depression, you'll see hallucinations are a part of it. And I've seen her, we've been hanging out all 4 or 5 hours, and then she's like, where'd the other guy go? Like, what are you talking about? It's just me and you. No, he was just here. He was just talking about his friend who went to the dépanneur. I was like, no, what are you talking about? At one point, she hallucinated that I was 500 pounds. So...
Well, you were pretty fat back then, man.
Yeah, but I wasn't that big. Like, she was like, hey, how'd you lose all that weight? I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't lose any weight.
Such a dark subject.
But that could also be attributed to schizophrenic depression.
It could be, but it wasn't all the time that she wasn't here.
It's all the same.
What I'm trying to, I know it's all the same. It's all brutal, but I agree with you, even though I did lose my friend, because I am fucking angry about it. And I think everyone trying to say, oh, we shouldn't judge. It's the same fucking thing. Alcoholism is a disease too. Yeah. And if an alcoholic gets behind the wheel of a car and kills themselves, you're not going to be like, we shouldn't judge him. Okay? And I want people who are in this situation, who are depressed, to get help. And the only, saying we shouldn't judge them and we should feel sympathy for them is not the way to fucking do it. We have to, if you want to change that, you got to be able to show them that there is fucking help. There are people who will be able to help you deal with what you have. And I was that person.
You see the problem? There's people who have seek that help.
I know that there are people who don't have.
People who have friends better or as good as us, and it didn't work. And then you're sitting there and you're still telling yourself, even though you have a kid now too, right?
Yeah.
You have a kid though, and you somehow even convince yourself that you're not even good enough for that.
She convinced herself. I know you're not good enough. I know. She convinced herself that too.
As common sense and logic will regularly say that, no, man, no matter what, man, the parent has to be in the kid's life. And you know this, you've grown up your whole life like this. But when you reach that point, you're already saying to yourself, that's all wrong, man.
Like, I think we all agree here, man. Like,
it's a fucked up thing.
When you have kids and when you have your family, I mean, like somehow you're really deep into it, you know? Where I was trying to say a bit earlier when I talk about like that people that really are and people are not know it, like it's so hard to... Because like we all have friends, like we all have a story to tell, right? I mean, it happened to me at one point too. Like someone I knew was saying often that he's gonna do it, and many times I was there, many times we were there, many times But after like years, that the needs for me to help or for anyone to help kind of fade away, because we figured, well, you know what, maybe it became, he's just saying that, but you know what, the guy did it at the end, you know, and no one was there for him at that moment, you know. So like the line is so thin, because when someone talks about this, I mean, you cannot not give attention. I mean,
exactly.
You cannot not give attention, because if you don't give attention,
I'm not okay. So
like,
dealing with it is very difficult,
you know?
For both parties.
Yeah,
someone who's helping you out and the person going through it.
For sure, man.
Because the other person's got to go through a lot of shit to make sure that they're okay.
Yeah.
And I was that person.
Yeah.
I was willing to put up with it because I wanted to keep her safe.
Yeah.
And every time that I did stop her, those 3 times, I was able to stop her because I was there.
Yeah.
Now the last time, obviously, I wasn't there. But and I understand that not everybody has a person such as myself who they can depend on, who will be able to be there. But I think that is something that needs to be changed. The perception of it is not, sure. We can't judge them when you don't understand. You can't judge you don't understand. So what? You're just going to sit there and say, oh, I guess everyone who's depressed should be doing it then. Not that I'm going to the extreme here. But
yeah, definitely. But I definitely know what you mean.
Like if you're an alcoholic, you get that person help, regardless of whether they want it or not. Yeah. And yes, you say like the only person who's going to help themselves.
But man, some people, they hide depression like people hide fucking drug addiction.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Like
if you're hiding it,
that you find out all of a sudden they were depressed, and you're like, you?
Yeah.
That guy's depressed. Doesn't make sense to me. I only see him smile.
Yeah.
He did this with me, or she did so and so, and then you told me that person killed themselves. You're telling me now. And was battling depression.
Yeah. Oh, even Robert Williams.
That's a good example. Like how
I really
you
think
make the world laugh, but you're crying every single day.
Yes.
You know.
I think from young we should be telling them, if you're ever gonna feel like that, definitely you have talk to somebody. You need
part of the illness seems to isolate yourself as it is.
But yeah, because it's easy. Like for us to say this, I know you dealt with it, but even if you look at it from the scientific term perspective, and it comes back to a bit of what I was saying, like everybody, okay, it's a hormonal imbalance. Everything that we do is hormone based, from everything from telling us when we're full to when to eat to falling asleep to everything. We have different hormones for everything, and at the same time, we also have receptors for these hormones, and just because I know I'm going to go a little slightly off topic on this, but again, it's to try to make others understand, or you guys understand, or whatever. So it's like I'll take the fitness industry just because I understand it, or like a little more. So testosterone is a driving factor in terms of strength and muscle building. But just because you might have optimal levels doesn't mean your receptors are as good. So let's just say all 4 of us decide, okay, guys, we're going to do the exact same workout. We're going to eat exactly the same. We're going to do everything exactly the same. We're even going to take steroids. Steroids is pretty much, and what we're going to take, we're going to take human growth hormone, and we're going to take testosterone. We're going to have all our levels the same. I can guarantee you, despite all our levels being the same, we're going to turn out, we're going to get bigger and stronger. We're all going to have different bodies, and we're going to respond differently because our receptors might be different. So what I was trying to get at is that maybe some of these people that get these suicidal thoughts and they get into that mode is their depression. When there's that imbalance, the receptors could be, I don't know if they're in height, they're better than ours, let's say, where it'll affect them a lot more than, let's say, it does you and me. Or it could be too much of an imbalance. Basically what I'm trying to say is everybody is different, and who knows how their internal chemical imbalance is.
Yeah. One, and it's gonna sound really bad.
No, but that's what this is.
I have to say that it's only first world countries that deal with death by depression. Look at all the studies. It's only first world countries that deal death by suicide.
Do they do studies for?
Yes, they do, because that's how they have the correlation.
Third world countries have a lot of fucking problems, but they don't have half the stress that we have living in the first world country, where everything is something you have to think about.
Regardless, they don't have suicide by depression.
And you have to
they have it, but it's in so low numbers.
There's all this shit, man, in the first world that's so bogus that the third world doesn't.
I was just giving him that point. The second point is, so what? We're just supposed to sit back and let everyone just like we can't talk about it.
No, but just the theory about that third world country. I don't.
It's not a theory.
I never read this. No, it's not a theory of mine. What I'm going to say is, if they're all on that living the same type of misery, maybe they all.
There's no depression. It's normal.
Yeah, technically.
So if depression is a social aspect, then how do you fix that on our side?
That's where it gets hard. Well, no, I'm saying if it is a social aspect, then it's because I think maybe because of various different.
What I'm trying to say is, I know how. I understand that everyone is reacting differently. I don't understand their fucking misery. I get it. Yeah. But what are we supposed to do? Just let people sit back and say we can't help you because we don't understand you?
No, I get it.
Someone's got to do something.
Yeah.
Like the only way I can think of it
is as much as we want, as long as they're willing to get the help. But if somebody is not gonna reach out to you, you will not know he is in that room with that concoction of pills or that gun or that rope
this
from
is
the
someone
ceiling.
coming from a guy who posted the whole like it's hard to sympathize.
About the kids, and I'll say it again, it really sucks. It's 2017. There's a 12-year-old in school right now whose father killed himself, and it's not like it's me doing it in my basement where my wife can say the guy fell down and he died and hide it from the kids or whatever. No, this is in a school where there's bullies, there's all kinds of shit, and one day somebody's gonna tell him, go kill yourself like your father killed himself. That's the part I say I don't sympathize. It's really shitty on the kids.
I agree.
And I stand by that part. I'm not passing judgment on him, maybe more so the act itself. It's a selfish act when it comes to
I agree. I'm not passing judgment on the guy. I do agree it's a selfish act. One fucking night defines a guy's whole life.
I feel really bad for Chris for having those demons, or for anybody battling those kind of demons. It's inhumane to have to fucking sleep at night.
In fact, if anything, this suicide actually immortalizes his lyrics even more.
I'll never listen to Pretty Noose the same. I'll tell you that much, man.
Yeah.
Like really, and I really mean that. I'm not trying because the name of the Noose and hanging. No, like really. I listened to it differently before.
And like you said, even earlier, you said like now every picture that you look at him.
Yeah, now and that was the Robin Williams effect too. Like I look at now, I'm like, man, why now I can see sadness in
but you'll find whatever
abundant amount.
You'll find it wherever you look. You'll find happiness. You'll find anger. No matter what you're looking, you're gonna find what you want to look for.
Okay, yeah. So your mind plays fucking tricks on you, whatever the case.
But regardless, I'm not trying to be a dick about this. I'm just trying. I want to help those people. I understand where it's coming from. I've seen the depths of it. I don't want anybody to go through that shit.
Yeah.
But the only way that I know how to do it is if you have friends who are willing to help, let them fucking help you.
Yeah. I don't even know fucking Chris Cornell. And if I didn't even listen to his music, if I was outside that hotel room, I would have loved to be able to stop. You know what I mean? Stop him. Anybody in that fucking situation. Doesn't even have to be your friend. You know what I mean? It really... You gotta think where that person is if he's actually going to kill himself. How fucked up is it upstairs?
What I'm trying to say is...
Definitely.
I know a lot of people who claim to have it and don't refuse help when they're not feeling depressed because I don't understand it. You don't understand it. You can't help me.
That's another thing. We know
that is something that's refusing help. And I don't think that's good either because now you're putting yourself in that position for when you're feeling like that again, you don't want any help from anybody.
Some people self-sabotage.
Yeah,
I see what I mean.
I've seen it firsthand.
I think a common thing is not wanting help. Is like pushing people away almost.
I've seen it firsthand. I won't name the person, but I've seen it firsthand where this person self-sabotages everything of that person's life. And whether they're happy or sad or whatever. So I think like...
Telling if I meet you and you have bouts of deep depression or any type of depression and you refuse to talk to me because it's like, no, it's too dark, I don't want to do it, you won't understand. If I hear that, then how the hell is anyone supposed to help you when you are actually in that way, to be on alert for you? You don't have that. Because you're saying that I don't understand. I don't understand the mentality with you in that deep depth, but I understand what it looks like. What it looks like at its worst.
Right.
I've seen it. I know how to deal with it. I can deal with it for years on end.
But the person dealing with it might be embarrassed because of it and will never be open about it, even to its closest person. Because it's gonna say they're not gonna fucking understand.
Something as well, man. I mean,
you know what I mean?
So true.
You're gonna be to yourself. You're gonna and whether it's hating yourself, disappointed in yourself, just depression, sadness, you don't even know where the fuck it's coming from. It's eating you from the inside. Yeah, and you're saying everything. You're looking at all your cards of your life. You're like, house should make me happy. This should make me happy. Best friends in the world should make me. Why am I feeling this fucking way? You know, and you're not gonna talk to somebody about that.
No, man. I mean, like,
it's
hard.
hard.
I'm just saying, like, people, you know, when you project yourself to others, you like to show the good side as well, right? I mean, so I think it's hard for someone that's feeling this way
to show that,
to promote that to others, because it's so fucking personal. And I think some people would be scared as well of how people would react to that.
There is that.
To a bit like I was saying before,
some
some people will take you seriously, but some people might not, you know? So I think people are scared as well. So that's why people that they're feeling that way, they're feeling suicidal. I mean,
they might feel alienated.
Maybe, yes, but sometimes the best help, and I don't mean that in the wrong way to any of my friends or close people, but sometimes it's to talk to someone that's not in your direct surroundings.
Yeah.
Probably.
You know, those general services, you have to
I
talk.
see what you mean.
There's 40 million hotlines out there.
At the same time, if you were to drink tonight, if you were an alcoholic and you were to get in the car tonight, I don't care how embarrassed you are. I would pull you the fuck over there and beat the shit out of you myself before I let you get in the car. And I would do that I watch you every fucking night.
But a drunk person is very, very obvious. A depressed person, I told you, was like a cokehead.
I know.
You don't know they're on cocaine.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes,
they could
for
be
a
on
lot
coke
of
for
it,
so
yes.
many years, and you only find out years later, like, what, you were on coke?
I'm glad you guys are so complacent about, like, just let people feel like that. But also just let yourself
Emotion is very personal, and it's not something some people doesn't like to promote.
I know there's a stigma about it, talking about you get embarrassed about it. I get it. But at the same time, if you have a shitting problem,
it's more so than the embarrassment.
I can't help you if you're shitting yourself, man.
Dude,
it's embarrassing. I don't. But that's the thing. You have to be able to come.
There's depression that naturally makes you outcast yourself because you don't even feel like you're good enough anymore.
I don't know what to do for people who have no one like.
There's people who have people, really but they've already fallen to a place in their head where they're even those people are not enough. They don't want to talk to them.
Yeah, there are different types.
People are selling themselves that there's no help. And they keep that for themselves. And I think that's the very deep and dark cases, you know? So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes for some people, they just need to open out and reach out. And maybe sometime, like I'm repeating myself, but I mean, that's what it is sometimes. Because if one day I come to you guys and I say like, I'm suicidal, like, I mean, it could, you guys going to take me 100% seriously or like, Ivy, like, what's going on? But if I'm really are, maybe the first step for me to find a brighter side of things is to get that neutral opinion, that person that doesn't know shit about me, that can actually maybe direct me to a better road that will maybe lead me to staying around. You know,
I think going for any help, regardless of mentality,
of course,
is the best way. And that's where everyone's like, you don't understand. You don't realize what we're
help,
thinking.
man. There's so much help.
You cannot fix that yourself.
You can't. You can't fix it yourself.
Yeah.
No matter what state of you're not feeling well, you're thinking there's no help, but there is. And get comfortable with someone you trust. And if you don't have anybody you trust, definitely there's someone out there who
yes.
And I'm one of those people. If you ever feel like that, don't fucking be embarrassed about it. Come fucking tell me.
Hey, the Bastards Council is there for you guys, man. You want to talk to us? Well, listen, man.
Call me at 4 a.m. I'll drive. I don't give a flying fuck. I'll be there.
Well, listen.
All right.
I don't want to lose any more friends.
Yeah. I mean, I think that sounds good, man. I think the bottom line, that's what it is, man.
Yeah. So I think we can all agree, for once, not to disagree, that if you need help, just reach out to someone.
Yeah, reach out. As hard as it seems, there's somebody out there who really wants.
And I'm only getting upset because I don't want to see people go through that. It's not that I think that you're wrong.
No, we get that.
I'm angry that I lost a friend.
So,
and I think I think we should all be angry when you lose friends.
So I guess we can say, all right, so that's how we can end this topic and go on a lighter note.
Oh, we also moved into a new room.
Yeah, we moved. Totally forgot about that.
That's true, eh? Yeah.
So yeah, we set up tonight. And we had a pitch
with a pretty dark fucking subject.
Yeah, we did.
The first sound check was amazing.
Yeah. we thought we wanted to come here and be done this podcast like really quick.
An hour ago.
We figured no more than that. Yeah,
done
an hour ago. Yeah.
Gone.
And it was like, all right, guys, we will set up. It's going to take a little bit of time because we're not used to the room and the logistics, whatever. But it's pretty much going to be okay.
Not at all.
The sound.
But you know what?
was
Even
off.
with all that shit, setting up in a brand new room,
that's great.
it was like within 2 hours, it was good.
Yeah.
We were trying to do super overdrive. We just got like overdrive out of it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all
It's
right.
good, man. I mean, we definitely need to set it up better, but I mean, so far so good, guys.
What
I
a
mean,
backdrop.
I mean, hey,
There's no library of DVDs.
And there's none of that gray cement.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, we will accept anything.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, send your props our way.
Send us some shit, man. We'll print them and put them on the wall, man.
Put that shit on
The
the
wall
wall.
of bastards. How about that?
Yeah.
Something like that. You know what I'm saying?
The
The bastard's wall.
Yeah. Man.
Bastard's wall.
So I think for final confession, I don't think we really have to say very much, but definitely I'm gonna say share this, but not to boost our likes or our interactions or whatever. I don't give a flying fuck about that right now. Share it so that someone can watch it.
Yeah, maybe it'll make a difference.
Maybe it'll make a difference. I'll talk to whoever. If it's gonna make a difference, I'll fucking talk to them all night. I don't give a flying fuck. I'll do it. So like, if you share it, if you enjoy it, definitely like it.
And also, before we go, since we're doing our final confessions, you might want to also talk about what you want to do.
I want to rock!
No, and then tonight.
Sorry.
Well, I think I'm gonna keep that one secret because I don't know what I'm gonna release.
All right, fine. We'll
It's
keep that
definitely
secret.
what I've been talking about for a while.
Something is
Kiss a
coming
man in
your
the
way,
washroom.
and it's not related to the podcast.
Not it's hammered on. I've said
It's
it
not.
before. It's being done. I don't know when it's gonna be released.
No, it's a Bastards Council part of the
It's
extension.
presented,
It's
yeah.
an extension, yeah. It's like the Bastards Council presents
Zinfandel.
In
Hammered
I
On.
don't like it. I don't like
Anyway,
it.
It's nice. Zinfandel.
like the grape.
Apkin Arikian.
That doesn't work.
That doesn't work, man. Come on, he's primate with an 8. Anyways,
Appman.
Yeah.
so yeah, my final confession. Well, yeah, reach out. That's
sick.
Don't really have anything to
I have
say.
the same thing to say, man. Like, I mean, there's not like there's no way in form that if you try to reach out for help, even if you're not in the deepest of the black, you know, like before you get there, just talk, you know, like because while you're in the gray, it's time to get out, you know, because I think once you're in the deep blacks, it's harder to get out, right? So just
Gray
fucking
zone.
reach out and talk about it.
Or
Yeah.
gray zone. And we're going out tonight to celebrate my birthday.
Celebrate his
We're going to
birthday.
celebrate John's birthday.
71.
Nice.
71.
I look pretty fucking good.
My last words is exactly what they said, man.
Yeah.
Just don't. I mean, as cliche as it sounds, you're not alone, man. Obviously there's a fuckload of people in the world dealing with this today, and some people are getting help, and some people aren't. Maybe because they're not reaching out enough. You know.
We almost forgot. We have to sign off. So I'm going to do it a little differently here and give 2 words addressed to this guy. Happy birthday! Motherfucker! Holy shit! All right.